Welcome to Applied Logics. In this video, we will write a program to find smallest number between three given numbers. For example, if you have an input with three numbers as a 10, 20 and 30, your program should return 10 as the result. Okay, let's take one more example. If you have inputs as a 2, 100 and 500 as three numbers, in this case, your program should return 2 as the output. So let's see how we can implement it in Java. Okay, I'm creating a solution file, that is solution.java. You can see public class solution over here. Let's go ahead and add a public static method to it. That will be a main method, which is of course the entry point for any program in Java. String args. Okay, these are the command line arguments which we are not going to use right now. Okay, so let's declare three numbers as a number 1 equals to 10. I'm taking the previous example. Number 2 equals to 20 and integer number 3 equals to 30. Okay, so I'll be using one more variable as a result equals to get minimum number. Okay, so I'll be declaring that method and implementing it in couple of minutes. Before that, I'll be declaring it over here and I'll be passing these three numbers, that is number 1 comma number 2 comma number 3. Okay, so this method will take all the three input numbers and it will return the minimum out of them. Okay, I can see a warning over here. I wasn't using camel case, hence the warning was there. I'm replacing the variable name with the camel case. So yeah, it's all good. Let's print the output with system.out.println. I'll be simply putting the result. Yes, we can add some string to it saying that smallest number is. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead and add the remaining method, that is get minimum number. So I'll be using the same like public static method instead of a void. The return type for that method will be integer as we are returning the number out of it. And yes, the method name will be get minimum number. Get minimum number, and yes, it should accept three integers. So I'll be simply saying like integer n1, integer n2 and integer n3. Okay, now here we have to add the logic which will decide which one is the smallest among these three elements or these three numbers. In order to find which one is the smallest, we need to do the comparison, right? So we need to compare whether n1 and n2 which one is smaller. Then we need to compare and check whether the n1 and n3 like which one is the smaller, right? So this comparison is done by the operator, which is less than, right? Less than or greater than. You can use either of them. So I'm using a less than operator and I'm adding a condition like if number 1 is less than number 2 and at the same time number 1 is less than number 3 as well. So what does that mean? So you are checking with n1, n2 and n3 and saying that if the number 1, the first number, is less than second number and it is also less than third number. So in that case we can say that n1 is the smallest among all, right? Now let's add one more if statement. Here we will check whether number 2 is less than number 1 and at the same time it is also less than number 3. So what does that mean? So you are comparing number 2 with both like in number 1 and number 3. And if you found that the number 2 is less than first and third number, in that case you can say that number 2 is the smallest among all, right? If both of these condition fails, which means n1 and n2 are not the smallest, then definitely we can conclude that the third number should be the smallest one. That is obvious, right? If n1 is not smallest, n2 is not smallest, in that case n3 has to be the smallest number, right? Okay, so let's run and see if our program works. So I'm opening the terminal. Here you can see initially there is only solution.java file. Let me compile the code. Solution java c solution.java. Yes, so after compilation you can see that solution.class file got generated. Now let's run the code with java solution. Yes, you got smallest number is 10. Let's go ahead and update the input. Like instead of a 10, 20 and 30, let me add 100, 2 and 500. And let's rerun the code and see what happens. Okay, so I'll be compiling the code one more time. That is java c solution.java. My code got compiled. I'm running the code and yes, I got the output. Smallest number is 2. Perfect. Okay, so this is the method. The get minimum number will help you to identify the minimum number from given 3 input numbers. Okay, if you have any confusion or you need more explanation around this method, you can definitely ask your questions in a comment section. We will definitely answer to these questions. Thank you.